Today we'll be covering some of the best and most fun snacks to try at Walt Disney World for your trip to the most magical place on Earth in 2025. Hello and welcome to the Let's Go to Disney podcast. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Lucy.
Today is Sunday, January 5th, and you're listening to episode 69, Best Snacks to Try for your 2025 trip. Before we get into today's main topic, here's what's going on in the parks right now. Disney drops some new hotel deals this week on January 2nd. You can save up to 30% off on your room reservations when staying 5 nights or longer for most days May 1st through September 30th. Annual pass holders can save up to 35% for stays most nights between May 1st and 31st, and up to 40% most stays June 1st through July 31st, which is quite steep when it comes to savings. That's
an epic savings.
You rarely see that go above 35%. That's
For sure.
Really, really good savings. Florida residents can save up to 35% for most days between May 1st all the way through July 31st.
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad closes tomorrow, January 6th, for an extended refurbishment, and it's not set to reopen until 2026, with what Disney says is a little bit of extra magic. We're speculating that this has something to do with the new Villains Land that is going back there in the upcoming years just behind Big Thunder Mountain. Cali River Rapids is also closing on this day, January 6th, for a routine refurbishment and will reopen sometime in March. That's probably a good time to close it down. It's too cold to go on there right anyways.
Agreed.
And then lastly, Grand Fiesta Tour is also closing for refurbishment with a projected reopening all in March of this year.
Yeah, exactly. And Epcot International Festival of the Arts kicks off soon on January 17th, and we are waiting on pins and needles for the foodie guide on that, which will more than likely be released early this week. I'm thinking Monday, Tuesday at latest.
Probably.
We're going to see this.
Yep.
By the time this episode airs, we're probably going to see that on the Disney Parks blog website.
Yeah, I would agree.
This is our first episode of the new year, and what a year it's been already. I was off work for 2 weeks of holidays, and it's going to be tough heading back to work tomorrow. Having said that, I haven't been sitting on my hands. It's been anything but relaxing, to be honest. I spent the last few days of my days off emptying the basement as much as possible. Lucy has been helping as well when she's not at work because she went back to work last week. And my father-in-law came in on Friday and helped me move the bigger furniture pieces like the couches and whatnot out from the basement.
Yeah, you guys did a dump run too. Got rid of a lot of old stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's basically empty now, right?
Yeah.
We've got little odds and ends to tidy up, but it's pretty much bare.
Yeah, it's actually kind of weird walking down there right now. We're so used to seeing it set up the way we had it. It was unfinished, but we basically made it like it was finished other than basically the walls. So it's going to be really strange to see this change constantly as the work progresses. But like we've said before, we are already using the space, like I said, down there as it's finished. So we're really, really looking forward to having this done. It's going to be a huge plus for us. We're very excited to get things going. And when it's all done, sometime probably in about April, I'm not quite sure when yet, the fun part will be placing everything just the way we want it.
Yeah, agreed. We're literally vibrating with excitement at the prospect of having a dedicated office space and really a studio is what I'm looking for. Up until now, well, still as of this recording, we're recording in our master closet. It's actually the perfect space because with all the clothes in here, it's like sound dampening and it works really well. But having said that, it's not super conducive as a workspace.
No.
So I'm going to be excited to have an actual, dedicated studio space where that's going to be where we record, where we do all of our stuff.
Absolutely.
The extra bedroom down there is going to have a Murphy bed for the odd times that we have overnight guests. And it's not actually unlike the beds that you see in the Disney rooms minus the couch. It'll literally be like a large cabinet that only takes up about 18 inches of depth when it's folded up, which is it's going to be folded up 97% of the time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much the only person that comes and visits and stays overnight is my sister. And it's 2 weeks out of the 52 weeks of the year.
Yeah,
right?
when my parents live 12 minutes away from us. So when my sister and her family comes down, they just stay at my parents' house and we all just see each other all the time anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Outside of that, it'll be the podcast studio and the space where I'll be able to record reels and essentially do all of the quote unquote work linked to Let's Go to Disney, right? We say work in quotations here because it's something that we really enjoy doing.
Yeah, we're going to theme it pretty hard Disney, I think.
Of course.
It's going to be fun.
All the Disney stuff that's in the house is basically going to
be fun.
And that studio. Yeah, exactly. So with that said, I've been making a list of the snacks I'd like to try during my upcoming trip at the end of the month, which inspired today's episode. We always have a running list of snacks that are our favorites, but we're always updating it with snacks that we want to try when we're in the parks next, because Disney's always updating their menus and adding new stuff or putting twists on things. And it's fun to try the new stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Disney is always adding new offerings to their menus across property. So today we're going to be highlighting some of the best snacks to try in the parks for your 2025 vacation. Part of the fun of the parks, in our opinion, is the food. There's something to be said to bring food into the parks like granola bars, protein bars, fruits like bananas, crackers, sandwiches. We get it. You really can bring a ton of different food in the parks, and you can definitely, and I mean definitely, save money that way. But even if you are budget conscious, it is fun to splurge on a few snacks during your vacation. Or if you're really into snacks and want to try a bunch of different ones, you can really eat snacks throughout the majority of the time and stop for like a full-blown meal a little less often.
Yeah,
like probably
agreed.
just
Yep.
one meal a day, you'll be a full-blown meal.
Mhm.
This is 100% a viable way to vacation, and especially during the Epcot festivals, we'd say it's probably the best way to do
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yep.
Especially if you are an adventurous eater and want to try all the food booths, because there's all different kinds of food.
Yep.
So with that in mind, let's cover some of the best snacks around property so that you could try them during your next trip.
Yeah, exactly. So let's kick things off with Magic Kingdom. So right up Main Street, USA, you have a couple of solid options at the Main Street Confectionery. So at the Colonel Kitchen, which is inside the confectionery itself, you can make your own kind of decadent popcorn. So you'll have to select from 4 popcorn flavors, add your flavor of chocolate drizzle, and then select 2 or 3 candies to mix in to complete your creation. It's a fun and totally like shareable option that's good to enjoy, you know, what fireworks or parade time or basically just hanging around Main Street. Another fan favorite here as well is the peanut butter cookie pie, which is a peanut butter cookie topped with chocolate and peanut M&Ms. I'm a sucker for peanut butter. I know I've said this a lot on the podcast, so it really should be no surprise, but I really do love this one.
Yes, you do.
There's also several other sweet options that the confectionery have on their menu that should appeal to most guests. And just up the street at the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor, you'll find a wide selection of ice cream treats from simple scoops to decadent sundaes. A good option here, in my opinion, is the All-American Sundae, which is made with old-fashioned vanilla and chocolate ice creams, hot fudge, peanut butter drizzle, whipped cream, and a cherry. Okay, so again, peanut butter, it's probably my favorite option on the menu. The parlor will also do specialty Sundays during different holidays and the Magic Kingdom parties like Mickey's Not So Scary and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
Yes, exactly. And then right across the street at Casey's Corner, you will find the mini corn dogs, which are hugely popular. We're not the biggest fan of corn dogs, but we know lots of people that love them. So if that's your thing, you'll definitely find those there. They also have a selection of hot dogs and sides as well. And then over in Tomorrowland at the lunching pad, you'll find the cream cheese warmed stuffed pretzel, which is a sweet and savory kind of vibe with the sweet cream cheese and then that warm pretzel. Again, this doesn't really quite do it for us, but we know lots of people that would love this. And then over at Cheshire Cafe, which is right at the entrance to Fantasyland from Tomorrowland near the Mad Tea Party attraction, they have the Cheshire Cattail, which is a pastry that is long and thin, shaped like a cattail, that is croissant-like baked with chocolate and then drizzled with pink and purple icing. This is definitely a fan favorite for good reason. It's essentially a long, skinny chocolate croissant with icing on top. It's a tasty treat for sure. We enjoy it.
Yeah, agreed 100%. Yep.
And then way back in Fantasyland, tucked in between Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid and Be Our Guest restaurant is Gaston's Tavern. This quick service location serves up one of the most popular snacks in Magic Kingdom, which is the warm cinnamon roll. It's popular, again, for a good reason. It's definitely one of our favorites as well. One of our go-to snacks in any park.
Agreed. We usually go for one at some point during our trip.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
The kids are enjoying it now too these days.
Yeah, exactly. So we're getting 2. Yep.
And then they've added new menu items in 2024, which have actually been pretty popular and very well received. These are the creme brulee croissant, which is a crispy croissant dough filled with vanilla bean custard, and the ham and Gruyere tart, which is also made with a crispy croissant dough and then topped with ham and Gruyere cheese. We had both of these this year, and while they were good, they weren't quite as good as that warm cinnamon roll. And so going forward, I think we're going to just stick with the Old Faithful.
Yeah, agreed 100%.
We love it so much.
Yep, exactly.
You'll also find the gray stuff cupcake here, which is a chocolate cupcake stuffed with the gray stuff, icing, and then crispy pearls.
Yeah, exactly. Without having to go to Be Our Guest.
Yes.
Because they have a dessert trio there that has gray stuff, but you got to pay for the whole meal there.
Yes.
So if you just want a taste of it, Gaston's Tavern's a good option.
Mm-hmm.
And still in Fantasyland or at Friar's Nook for a savory treat, you'll find the loaded tots with cheddar, bacon, and drizzled with ranch dressing. For a sweet, you'll find Tiana's famous beignets. And you might say, wait, aren't those sold over at Golden Oak Outpost near Tiana's Bayou Adventure? And you'd be correct. However, we suggest getting them here for 2 reasons. 1, it's on average less busy because there are multiple pickup windows. And 2, they have mobile order. Golden Oak Outpost is a small walk-up counter that doesn't have mobile order, and it does get quite busy. So if you're really wanting to try these, get them here. And right next door, you have Storybook Treats, and you're going to find a selection of sweet treats, especially soft-served cups, cones, and floats here. They'll usually always have a specialty-themed treat as well that rotates, and they'll get like special offerings as well during the holidays and parties. Right now, they have the Aurora cone with Dole Whip strawberry and blue soft serve ice cream topped with white chocolate crisp pearls served in a sugar cone. I had one of these on our last trip with the kids, and I really enjoyed it. It's one of my go-tos to stop for a sweet treat, like back in Fantasyland for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. And then over at Pinocchio Village House, you have a wide selection of standard theme park fare, but they actually have really decent flatbreads here. The quick service location has a lukewarm reputation, but honestly, on our last couple of trips, we've tried a couple of their flatbreads and we actually really enjoyed them. So if you're looking for something other than that hockey puck burger or the chicken tenders, these can actually be a really good option here. We have had the buffalo chicken flatbread, which is grilled chicken, mozzarella, ranch, buffalo sauce, crumble tortilla chips, and we actually really enjoyed this one. It was quite tasty.
Agreed. Yep.
Their offerings will rotate, and then they have the specialty flatbreads that come around the holidays and then during the parties as well. And then heading into Liberty Square, we're stopping at the Columbia Harbor House. This quick service location has that standard options, but also some more unique options like the lobster roll or the shrimp platters. A popular snack here as well is the Hush Puppies, which is essentially deep fried cornbread. We ate here on our last trip during the Keys to the Kingdom tour, and we actually really enjoyed our meals.
Yep.
And both of these, the Pinocchio and the Columbia Harbor House, they have lots of seating.
Yeah, and they do. And they have a second floor seating.
Yes.
So Pinocchio Village House has actually, it's
So
a
does
smaller
Columbia.
area.
So does Columbia, yeah.
Yeah, but Pinocchio Village House, and you have a few tables that are actually outside that
That's
overlook
true.
into Fantasyland,
Yeah, if
which
you
is
get
kind of
lucky.
cool.
Yeah.
And then Columbia Harbor House, we ate on the second floor there during Keys to the Kingdom.
Yeah.
And it's much larger up there. There's way more seating.
Yes.
And it's way more quiet.
And bathrooms too, which is kind of nice because they're less used.
Yeah, exactly.
But then also in Pinocchio, some of the seats you can see into It's a Small World.
Yes, that's right.
So that's kind of a fun thing.
Yeah.
I like both of those options just for their seating alone. There's just lots of options.
Yeah, exactly. They're good. They're good stops to make. Like
and you just need to sit down and have a break.
Agreed 100%. And still in Liberty Square over at Sleepy Hollow, this was previously home to the Nutella waffle sandwich, which was a lovely treat.
Lovely treat. A fan favorite indeed.
Exactly. It was like a large round waffle with strawberries, blueberries, and bananas and topped with chocolate hazelnut spread, which is, let's be real, it's basically Nutella, okay? And all that was kind of pressed in a half into a sandwich. This, along with the cinnamon roll at Gaston's Tavern, was another go-to for us. Last year, they went away with the sandwich, which was a bummer because, like Lucy said, we really did love this treat. They've since replaced it with a Mickey waffle with berries, bananas, and hazelnut spread. So it's essentially the same toppings, but it's on a Mickey waffle now. It's not bad by any stretch. We had this revamped version and we enjoyed it. It's just that we enjoyed the previous version more. Having said that, if you're craving, a Mickey waffle drizzled with Nutella and topped with bananas and berries, you'll want to give these a try. Okay, they're really good. And then over in Frontierland, you've got the Golden Oak Outpost that we mentioned before, which has Tiana's beignets. And dipping into Adventureland, you've got Aloha Isle, which can satisfy all of your Dole Whip needs. Solid options on the menu are, of course, the classic pineapple Dole Whip, which is, a classic for a reason. And then they also have the pineapple upside down cake, which is a good option as well. Another popular option here on the menu is Tropical Serenade, which is a passion orange guava, or POG, right? That's what POG stands for. Juice, coconut soft serve, and an upside down pineapple cake pop that tops it.
For those that don't know, POG juice is famous at Walt Disney World. It's at like all the restaurants.
They have it all over the place.
It's all over the place.
They bring it on
their
demand
specialty
at
juice.
Topolino's Terrace. Yeah, exactly.
It's very delicious.
Yep.
And then not far back near the entrance to Adventureland from the hub is Sunshine Tree Terrace. They serve soft serve here as well as Dole Whip Orange and Dole Whip Strawberry. They also do a citrus roll, which is actually frozen orange juice and vanilla soft serve. You won't always see this on the menu, but if you ask for it, they usually are able to make it for you. This is a fan favorite. We enjoy it as well. It's very refreshing almost, and just on a hot day, it's perfect.
Exactly. You got the tart from the orange juice and the sweet from the
too,
vanilla soft serve. Yeah, exactly.
And then lastly, back out in the hub, right next to the entrance to Adventureland, you'll find the spring roll cart. They have a rotational selection of savory spring rolls here, but you'll usually find that pizza and cheeseburger spring rolls here as well. Both are tasty. You get two of whichever one you want. You can either get two of the same or you can mix. Totally your decision. We usually split an order of these and we enjoy them. Again, they are a popular treat. Many want to try them to be able to say that they did try the spring roll. They're good, but definitely not the best option in Magic Kingdom, but good nonetheless. Just if I had to pick like a few, they'd probably be a little lower on the list.
It'd be like mid.
Yeah,
exactly. I agree with that. All right, next up, let's head into Hollywood Studios. So not far from the entrance to the park is the Starbucks location, which is named Trolley Car Cafe. Here you're going to find one of the most popular snacks in the park, and that's the carrot cake cookie. This is more of a whoopie pie, I would say, or a cake than an actual cookie. It's essentially 2 round carrot cakes and then cream cheese icing pressed into the middle. It's more than the sum of its parts, Kate. We personally love this one. It's definitely a solid snack. And then down Sunset Boulevard, not far from Tower and Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster, you've got Hollywood Scoops. There's nothing really iconic here, but if you're craving ice cream, they have sundaes and scooped ice cream, which is, if it's hot and you want ice cream, we stopped here with the kids before.
It's usually not too busy either.
No, exactly. So it's a good place to stop for ice cream.
Our kids are very easy when it comes to snacks. They don't need the really fancy whatevers. They're like ice cream and cookie kind of kids. So just stopping there for a soft serve, they're happy as can be.
Exactly. And then back up near Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, you have Backlot Express, which is a large quick service location that serves all of your typical theme park eats, right? But on their dessert menu, they have the Wookiee cookie, which is definitely worth getting. Mm-hmm. This is 2 oatmeal cookies with vanilla cream filling in the middle and garnished with a milk chocolate sash made to look like Chewbacca's kind of belt thing that's sitting on top. This is one of our favorites, and we'll usually stop for at least one at some point during our trip. Yeah. And not far from here is Baseline Hap House. This lounge serves up a selection of local beers and decent cocktails, and they have a couple of light bites as well that are worth stopping for. So they have a pretzel here served with beer cheese fondue and spicy mustard, and a California cheese and charcuterie board that are both really good and pair well together. Lucy and I will usually stop here at least once during our trip when it's just the two of us. We'll get the board, the pretzel, and a beer while we people watch. It's one of our favorite actually relaxed spots in all of Walt Disney World. Like the seating area kind of overlooks the entrance to Galaxy's Edge.
Like where everybody's walking.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love people watching.
No, exactly. It's fun to, stop for a snack, stop for a drink, and just people watch for a little while.
And a lot of the tables are umbrella covered. Yep. So it's a nice place to just get
exactly.
out in the sun.
It is outdoors, so if it's hot, it's going to be hot. There is indoor seating, but not much. Yeah. But it is covered.
Yeah. So back around and then in behind the Chinese Grauman Theater, next to the Walt Disney Presents is the Market, which is a walk-up stand. This place serves up Jack Jack's Num Num Cookie, which is a large and thick chocolate chunk cookie. This is another popular and iconic snack in this park, and it's definitely a fan favorite. We don't mind this one, but it tends to be a little inconsistent. Sometimes the edges are overdone or the center is underdone. Yeah. Probably just because it's such a large cookie. It probably doesn't bake very well. Yep. At the end of the day, it's a chocolate chip cookie. It's not bad by any means, and it's a fun treat to try. But if you're purely wanting a really good cookie and don't have your heart set on trying this one, there are better cookie options on property.
Agreed. Yes.
The Wookiee cookie, just as an example.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
definitely better.
Yep. Or Gideon's or Summer House on the Lake. Or, yeah.
Moving right along into Toy Story Land, at the back of the park, we're heading to Woody's Lunchbox. This popular quick service location serves up the hugely popular Lunchbox tarts, which are essentially big Pop-Tarts, homemade Pop-Tarts is what they are.
Yep.
They will have the mainstays like the raspberry tart, but they also have the rotating seasonal options as well throughout the year. So it's definitely worth stopping to see what's available during your trip if that interests you. Another popular savory snack here is the tachos, which are loaded potato barrels essentially. They are served with beef and bean chili, shredded cheese, queso, tomatoes, corn chips, sour cream, and green onion. They also do the breakfast tachos with gravy, scrambled eggs, and green onion.
Yeah, I know a lot of people love these. I'm not a big fan of that just because it's just so heavy.
A lot. Yeah.
But
share it though would be not so bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't be so bad if you're sharing it. It's definitely like a snack item. And if you like that kind of, if you just like that kind of food, it's popular for a reason. A lot of people love it. Yeah. And heading into Galaxy's Edge, you've got a few options in this land, starting with the milk stand. So we're not necessarily huge fans of the milk here, but if you're a Star Wars fan, it's definitely a fun thing to try, to kind of add to the experience and ambiance and immersiveness of being in Galaxy's Edge. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can get blue or green milk here. The blue milk is a plant-based blend of coconut and rice milk with fruity notes. And the green milk is the same. So plant-based coconut and rice milk, but with more of like a citrus or a tropical flavor profile. I'll be honest, both are unappealing. Okay. I guess we're just not big fans of like fruity flavored milk, especially during like the hottest times of the year. It's 100 degrees outside. Here, have a glass of fruity milk.
Coca-Cola over milk usually.
Or just cold water, right? Like ice water.
Yeah.
But anyways, like we said, if you're a big Star Wars fan, it's fun to try anyways, right? Over at Ronto Roasters, you can get the Ronto Wrap, which is a pita bread with roasted pork, grilled pork sausage, peppercorn sauce, and tangy slaw. Really, really good. And if you split it in two, it's definitely shareable. If not, it's pretty big and I would consider,
fill you up.
Yeah, more of a meal.
Yeah.
They also have a breakfast version with eggs, grilled pork sausage, shredded cheddar, and peppercorn sauce. Both are good options, and it can definitely be a full meal, like I said, for one person, so we usually share this one. One thing to be mindful of is Ronto Roasters closes mid-afternoon, usually right around 3 p.m., but fear not, you can get your Ronto Wrap at Docking Bay 7, the main quick service location in the land, after that. And lastly, over at Katsaka's Kettle, you have the Outpost Popcorn Mix, which is a blend of sweet and spicy kernels. They also have a regular buttery salty flavor as well. That's like green, if I remember, or
I think
bluish,
so, yeah.
which is like just butter and salt, which is just, just more standard popcorn.
Yeah.
They also have the cold brew black calf here as well that Lucy and I really enjoy because we're big iced coffee people. This is essentially Joffrey's cold brew topped with sweet cream cheese cream and chocolate puffs, which are essentially like you know what I mean? Those
Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, exactly. Cocoa Puffs cereal, right?
Yeah.
So when you first sip it, if you don't like black coffee, you're going to think, gross. But grab a straw or a spoon and just mix in the cream thoroughly. And then it's essentially like it's just a coffee with cream, right?
Coffee.
Yeah. And it's really, really tasty. We do enjoy this one.
All right, next up, let's head into Animal Kingdom. So we've said this before, but this park actually has a ton of really solid snack options. Even if it may not strike you as having many options, it certainly does.
Yep, agreed.
Certain areas of Dino Land will be closing very soon, but others will stay open for a while longer, including Trilobites. So here you'll find the buffalo chicken chips, which are house-made chips served with buffalo chicken, blue cheese dressing, and then topped with a tomato and celery relish. Super tasty. We really enjoyed this snack.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't sure what to expect, and it slapped.
Yeah, I did.
I'll say a term that's more current.
Yeah. Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I know. Over at Dino Bite Snacks, they have an ice cream cookie sandwich, but actually they use fresh baked cookies with a scoop of ice cream in the middle. Absolutely delicious. And
agreed.
It is fresh baked. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
They also have seasonal options of this snack at different times of year.
Yeah, they'll do like Christmas cookies.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Stuff, yeah.
And then moving through Dino Land and then back around, you'll come out into Asia, and not far from the Expedition Everest attraction, you have the Anandapur ice cream truck, which serves classic soft serve, but they also have this really fun Yeti sundae here with chocolate and vanilla soft serve, blue cake crumbles, sweet snowflakes, and a chocolate Yeti image.
Yep. Themed to, like Expedition Everest, which is just up the road.
Absolutely. Yep. And then over on the other end of the Asia section of the park is Mr. Kamal's. And here you're going to get the seasoned fries with sriracha mayo. Pretty basic snack, but if you're craving French fries, this is actually a really good place to get them because the sriracha mayo is really good.
Yeah, exactly.
They will definitely be better than that standard fry you can find pretty much anywhere on property.
Yeah, agreed 100%. And moving right along out of Asia and into the Africa section of the park, you have Tamu Tamu Refreshments, which serves a selection of good drinks. But the underrated star here is the Pineapple Crisp Sundae, which is a pineapple crisp cake with vanilla ice cream, pineapple caramel, and crispy streusel topping. This is a seriously delicious dessert and is definitely worth checking out. And over at Zuri's Sweet Shop, you have a wide selection of cupcakes, cookies, and other confectionery type items. It's like a bakery essentially.
Yeah.
But a lesser known fact is that you can actually get some Werther's caramel treats here, like the caramel butter bar that you find over in Caramel Kuche over in the Germany Pavilion at Epcot. There's actually a few of those caramel treats there.
Fun, yeah.
And heading out of Africa and into Pandora, you have 2 quick service locations here. Satuli Canteen is the large quick service location in the land, like the largest. They have a ton of delicious options here, like protein bowls and salads, but they also have a hugely popular menu item here, which are the cheeseburger pods. So you've probably seen this on social media. Mm-hmm. It's essentially like a bao bun, and inside is like a cheeseburger filling. It's essentially like a Big Mac inside of a pod.
Yeah.
You can get an adult version that has 2 pods, or the kids version has 1 pod, which would be more of a snack, or you could share the adult one and it would still be like a snack. On their dessert menu, you have 2 mousses, the Metkayina mousse, which is flourless chocolate cake, chocolate mousse, raspberry gelée, mango coulis, boba pearls, and a milk and white chocolate garnish, and the blue cream cheese mousse, which is blueberry cream cheese mousse with passion fruit curd. Both are visually pretty. Like the Metkayina, it looks like...
It's very pretty.
Yeah, it's 100%. Yeah. It's something you'd want to take a photo of and post on your Instagram. And next door at Pongu Pongu, which is just like a walk-up counter, it serves light bites and drinks. You're going to find the Pongu Lumpia here. So these are pineapple cream cheese spring rolls. They're super popular, but here's the thing. We don't actually like them. I don't know if it's like the sweet in the spring roll or what it is, but they just don't do it for us. Having said that, they're really, really popular and lots of people swear by them. So they're worth a try to see if you're going to like them.
Yeah, absolutely. We always usually end up at the Satuli Canteen with the kids for lunch because there's a good option there. Our kids are just easy. They like the quesadilla, and it comes with like a little water bottle and those chips that they set, like the kind of
like the veggie chips and Cuties oranges.
Yeah, so like that's a perfect spot if you have little kids for lunch, and lots of seating in there as well.
Yeah, 100%. And for you, like if you're tired of having, like heavy meals and whatnot, they have salads there. They have protein bowls. That's just a little bit more fresh food.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then finishing up with Discovery Island, which is in the center of the park, we're heading to 8 Spoon Cafe, which is to the right of the Tree of Life when you're facing it. They have baked mac and cheese with pulled pork served with pickle and barbecue sauce. It sounds a little strange, of kind of a strange combo, but it definitely works. Lots of people really love this snack. And then over at Flame Tree Barbecue, which is one of my favorite quick service locations.
Agreed, yeah.
They have a similar option, which is a baked mac and cheese with pulled pork, crispy onion, and coleslaw. Fair warning, it's a bigger portion, so definitely a shareable dish if you're thinking of a snack versus an actual meal. And then lastly, we're going to be headed to Nomad Lounge, which is a lounge attached to the table service Tiffin's right next door. This lounge is widely popular. So if you want to find a seat, especially during busier times, you'll want to get your name on that walk-up wait list a little while before you're actually ready to eat.
Yeah, 100%. And during like the busiest times, the walk-up wait list can actually like close because it's full,
yes,
right?
So like it's not happening.
100%. So, but keep checking because usually it'll come back. It'll be a longer wait,
Yeah.
maybe like an hour or something, but you can go
do
ride.
other things.
Exactly. Yeah.
And once you actually do get into the lounge, you have a selection of really good cocktails, and we strongly suggest the churros here. They're served with vanilla and strawberry or chocolate dipping sauce, and they're hands down some of the best churros in the East Coast parks.
Yeah, 100%. They have a ton of light bites here, but those churros are
and the cocktails
really,
are really good too. And if you can get out on the deck portion of the lounge, it's a really nice spot to sit and just relax.
Yeah. It's along the water there.
Yeah.
Essentially the
and
water
it's
that
kind of
goes.
got like the trees. You can't even see people walking by.
No.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of off to the side.
Yeah.
That and Baseline Tap House, like
two of the best lounges.
100%. We love sitting down along the water there, relaxing for a beat, especially in a park like Animal Kingdom. Like we've said this before, but it gives us really chill vibes.
The whole time we're there. We never
100%.
feel... The only chaos is the first thing in the morning when you're trying to get rope dropping to Flight of Passage.
Yeah.
Otherwise, after that moment, chill vibes.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed 100%. All right, now heading into Epcot. Now, with Epcot, more than any other park, it's hard to narrow down snacks simply because there's just so many options, especially during the festival. You can fill up on snacks from the booths without actually ever eating like some of the mainstay snacks that you can find in the park in the World Showcase at any time of year. With that said, we'll narrow down our top choices. We'll start off strong in the World Showcase right next to the International Gateway entrance in France. So France has a few worthy options, and we'll start with the obvious Les Halles Boulangerie and Pâtisserie, which is tucked away like right in the back of the pavilion. This is a quick service location that serves a ton of sweet and savory French bakery options. So you're going to find croissants, tarts, pastries, cookies, beignets, chocolate eclairs, creme brulee, pretty much anything your heart desires. They have savory options as well, like sandwiches on croissants and baguettes, quiches, among others as well. We've tried a bunch of different things here over many trips, and we've yet to find something we didn't like. Pretty much everything you find here is delicious. And right outside the entrance to Les Halles is L'Artisan des Glaces. Here you're going to find scooped ice cream and flavored waffle cones, as well as macarons. And you can actually do the macarons in like an ice cream sandwich. So like think macaron, ice cream with another macaron. So pretty good option there. But the pièce de résistance is the croque glacée. Okay, so this is a scoop of your choice of ice cream with a drizzle of your choice of sauce. So think like caramel or chocolate. And then they're going to place that on the bottom of a brioche bun. Then they're going to take the top of it, put it on top, and put that in a press, like a panini press kind of thing.
Yep.
And out comes your completed treat. Okay, so it's essentially like a hot pocket of cold ice cream and sauce in a warm brioche bun, right? So it's the sweet and from the ice cream and the sauce, right? And then the savory from that warm bread. And yeah, it's definitely worth stopping for this one. It's super, super tasty. I think, like salted caramel ice cream with caramel inside the brioche. And oh my God, it was so good.
To die for, hey?
Yeah, so good.
And then next door in the Morocco Pavilion is the Tangerine Cafe, Flavors of the Medina. You have the grilled chicken or lamb kebab served with carrot chickpea salad and garlic aioli, and then the stone-baked Moroccan bread with hummus, chermoula, or zoug dips. If you've been listening to this for a while, we talk about this combination a lot. It is so good, and we really love the flavors on this one. If you share, it's a solid snack option for sure. And then next door at the Japan Pavilion is the Kabuki Cafe, and you have the Kagigori, which is a Japanese shave ice with rainbow, strawberry, melon, cherry, tangerine, or blue raspberry flavors. So lots of good options there. It's a good treat on a really hot day. So when you're walking around the World Showcase, and it's easy to eat while you're walking.
Yeah, exactly.
And then over in the American Adventure Pavilion at the Regal Eagle Smokehouse, you'll find a ton of barbecue options here. But on their dessert menu, they have a s'mores brownie, which is absolutely delicious and definitely worth stopping for. And then next door, again, in the Italian Pavilion, you have the Gelateria Toscana. This is a walk-up counter service with assorted gelato and sorbet flavors that you can get in a cup or a waffle bowl. They also have floats and shakes and fresh cookie ice cream sandwiches as well. Not for nothing, but they have a really good frozen red sangria here as well.
Yep.
We love a good sangria. It's our
100%.
go-to drink.
Yep.
And the frozen version here is definitely amazing when it's hot out. It's perfection.
Yeah, agreed 100%. And next up at the Germany Pavilion, we've got a few other solid options. So we've said this before, but like between France and Germany, these are probably our two favorite pavilions when it comes to snacks that are available year round. So first up, we're heading into Summerfest, which is right next to Beer Garden at the back of the pavilion. And it's just a walk-up counter, essentially. There isn't really actually any seating here apart from the tables that kind of line the walkway just like around the pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a pretzel bread pudding here served with vanilla and caramel sauces that is just divine. It's not super big, but it's such a tasty treat. And at under $5, it's a no-brainer. Definitely worth a stop here. We like to have one of these and wash it down with a Schafferhofer pink grapefruit Hefeweizen, or just that grapefruit beer, right? Which is essentially is just juice, right? I think it's like 2%. And it tastes like juice and it's so refreshing on a hot day. And the worst kept secret at the pavilion is caramel couche, right? So much like Le Hall in the France Pavilion, there's a ton of options here and everything is delicious. Some of the standout options are the Werther's Original Caramel Butter Bar, the Werther's Caramel Chocolate Cookie Sandwich, and they also do a version of this with gingerbread cookies over the holidays, which is really good as well. And the freshly made caramel popcorn, okay, that is still warm when they hand it to you. That's like a personal favorite of mine. Yes. I love to grab one of these and then like go sit down and go to American Gardens Theater for whatever Broadway concert series or, Candlelight Processional, whatever is going on over there. Snack on some caramel popcorn. And it sounds like
it's definitely your favorite. The kids love it too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I know. Last time we picked it up with the kids.
Our son couldn't get enough.
Yeah, 100%. I don't blame him. It's so good. And at the refreshment outpost between Germany and China, you can find classic Dole Whip or raspberry Dole Whip, or you can get those in a swirl if you wish, right? It's a good option again on a hot day. And at Joy of Tea in the China Pavilion, you can get 2 pork egg rolls, which are pretty tasty if you're a fan of egg rolls. We don't mind these treats, but it's definitely better when it's like a cooler outside. Think of like fall or, in the middle of winter when it's, it gets to be like 5 degrees.
Yep, I agree. Over in the Norway Pavilion, you have Kringla Bakery og Cafe, which has a lot of delicious options. The school bread here is infamous, kind of like a pongu lupia in Animal Kingdom. Some people love it, others not so much. It's a sweet roll filled with custard and then dipped in coconut. They have the lefse, which is a soft flatbread with cinnamon, sugar. Then they also have the apple cake, which is an apple cake with a caramel drizzle, among other options. They also have the Christoph Cafe here, which is a frozen coffee with a coffee chocolate sauce and then garnished with a coffee chocolate crunch. We tried this during our last trip and we actually really enjoyed it.
It was tasty. Yep.
Yeah. So then you can also get this spiked with Bailey's or Camorra coffee liqueur. And then over at the Mexican Pavilion inside the pyramid at the La Cava del Tequila, you have a good selection of margaritas. And then they also serve a trio of chips, guac, salsa, and queso. There is actually very limited seating here, so when it's busy, it can actually be hard to get a table, but it's definitely a great way to get out of the sun on a hot day, enjoy a tasty drink and some chips and sauces. It's really great. So we did this actually in a funny order, but we started in France. So then we're going to head to the other side now over at the Canadian Pavilion, and you can get the maple flavored popcorn at the popcorn cart here. In our opinion, the caramel corn at Caramel Couche is still better, but this is a good alternative nonetheless. And then lastly, at the UK Pavilion, you can actually get really delicious fish and chips at the Yorkshire County Fish Shop, which is definitely a meal, but can definitely be shared if you want to have more of a snack.
Yeah, exactly. If you split between 2 people, I think it would qualify as a snack.
Yes.
A big snack, but
yes.
Yeah. And then coming out of the World Showcase and over to Sunshine Seasons in the Land Pavilion. This is a massive quick service location, but they have a couple of standout options on their dessert menu. The peanut butter whoopie pie, which is essentially 2 chocolate cake pieces sandwiched with peanut butter icing, and shaved chocolate pieces. This is right up my alley because of the peanut butter, right? And then the Turnal brownie here is also pretty good. And on the other side of the park at Connections Eatery, you have the Liege waffle, which is a brioche dough with pearl sugar, strawberries, whipped cream, and chocolate sauce. They usually have a seasonal option of this waffle as well, depending on the time of year. Like, for example, during Food and Wine, they had a Remy Liege waffle with like cream cheese, icing, and whatnot. So that'll flip and flop depending what's going on in the park. Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list of the Epcot snacks, and we didn't even touch festival offerings, right? Because these change depending on the time of year and what festival's going on, right? We're going to be covering the offerings coming up for the Festival of the Arts, which starts on the 17th of this month. And we should be seeing the foodie guide, like I said earlier, right? early this week. I would guess it might already be out by the time this episode airs, like I said. And initially, I was going to cover the snacks in Disney Springs and the resorts, but we're going to save that for another episode. Otherwise, we'd be over an hour for sure.
Almost certainly. So there's a lot of snacks in the parks that we didn't mention, like Oliver said, like the classic snacks. So think Mickey bars, Mickey waffles, Mickey pretzels, Mickey cinnamon rolls. You get the gist, Mickey everything. There's also lots of snacks that are iconic simply for how they look, and you can find these in every park as well as many of the resorts and at Disney Springs. If you are of the opinion that no Disney trip is complete without consuming at least one Mickey waffle, we totally get that sentiment. They're classics for a reason. Yeah. And you can find Mickey waffles pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, no, exactly. With that said, hopefully this gave you a good idea of some of the snacks that are available in the 4 parks throughout the year. Like we said earlier, snacking your way around the parks is a part of the experience in our opinion. It's something that we really enjoy doing. We'll typically snack throughout the day and stop for a table service meal for dinner, like more substantial meal. Yeah, standard meal for dinner. It's a good idea to write down a few snacks you want to try in each park and prioritize those during your park day. There's a ton of non-remarkable food that is overpriced in the park, so if you're going to spend your money on marked up food items, they should at least be treats that you're more than likely going to enjoy, right? It's just, it's expensive, so enjoy what you're going to eat.
Absolutely. Like, you can get the standard caramel apple on a stick, or the kids can get their standard lollipop. You're going to pay a lot more for that. But if you're going to pay, like Oliver said, go for those really fun ones.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. With that said, thank you for joining us today to talk Disney Stacks. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And as always, if you could leave us a rating and review, it would be greatly appreciated. If you choose to do so, you can leave reviews right on Apple Podcasts. And for Spotify, you can leave a rating.
You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at letsgo.to-disney, as well as on our Facebook page, Let's Go to Disney. We share some helpful reels here, as well as some fun ones. The link tree in the show notes will take you to all of our socials.
Have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.